Hello and welcome to the Final Whistle with me, Daniel Waterson, looking back at Hibs' 4-0 win over Elgin City in the William Hill Scottish Cup. Coming up, myself and James Delaney will talk through the match. We've got an interview with Gary Parker post-match, and then we've also got an interview with new boy Tommy Block. But first, a reminder of all the goals from yesterday with Hibs TV's John Stevens and Keith Reid.
It's Flo Canberry now. He picks up the pass from Ryan Gold. He rounds Thomas McHale and he slots the ball in from a tight angle. Fantastic effort there from Hibs, and moving forward quickly from an Elgin attack. And it's Hibernian 1, Elgin City 0. Flo Canberry, the goal scorer, with 20 minutes on the clock, Keith. A fantastic goal, and Ryan Gold already proving his worth.
Yeah, great pass from Ryan Gold into Flo Canberry. Just got there just before Thomas McHale found the goalkeeper and slotted into the net from a tight angle.
It's now Slivka in possession of the ball on the right hand side off the midfield. He drives forward and he dinks a ball in, looking for Daryl Horgan, who beats Thomas McHale to the ball, gets his head on it, and it's gone in. Daryl Horgan scoring a header to make it Hibernian 2, Elgin City 0. Fantastic cross in there from Vikintas Slivka. Fantastic bravery there from Daryl Horgan, who takes a dunt for all his efforts. On the stroke of half time, Hibs have got an opportunity again from 12 yards. Stevie Mallon, and he goes low into the goalkeeper's left, and he's just tucked it right into the bottom corner. Cool, calm penalty there from Stevie Mallon for his 10th goal of the season, and Hibernian's third of the afternoon on the stroke of half time. It's Hibernian 3, Elgin City 0. Hibs moving forward with the ball. It's now with Stephen Whittaker on the right hand side of the box, swings it across to the back post, and there's Daryl Horgan arriving in the 6-yard box, and he's just ended up side footing it into the back of the net from 3 yards out. Fantastic, very simple goal there from Hibernian. It's now Hibernian 4, Elgin City 0 in the 53rd minute of the Scottish Cup tie.
James, my favourite weekend of the season, the Scottish Cup round where everyone comes in. Everything that you would expect from Hibs today, a 4-0 win. It'll probably be a 90-second round up narrated by Brian McLaughlin tonight and into the next round.
Yeah, comfortable if unspectacular, I think is probably the best way to describe it. I don't think at any point Elgin looked like scoring. At some points they didn't even look like getting out of their half. So yeah, I mean, we just had to, you never want to say we just had to turn up today, but it was a very routine performance from our point of view, and yeah, it's I mean, not one that's going to live long in the memory, I don't think, but some nice goals, nice bits of play. Got to see Ryan Gold in his debut. Yeah, all very routine.
No, I think when you look at other scores, most notably Pataudry, you know the kind of dangers that face us, and given the way that sort of Jekyll and Hyde December went, I think that'll be kind of everything that Neil Lennon was wanting today. Comfortable, but I think I looked at it just there, was it 33 shots we had?
Shots on goal, yeah. I mean, you know, nobody wants to be on the receiving end of a cup shock, you know, at any level. You know, ask Ayr United how they're feeling just now. You know, got knocked out by Auchinleck Talbot today. Same with Aberdeen as well. I mean, that's a great result for Stenhousemuir up there, and to take them back to Oakville View, where no fancy their chances on a plastic pitch on a cold Tuesday night there. You know, it's never fun, and we've been on the receiving end of plenty of those ourselves. So to turn up a professional performance is good. Don't think Elgin sort of offered really any kind of threat to the point where you thought we might be in for a tough one here. I think once we got that first goal, it wasn't like the floodgates opened, but it was really kind of, you know, it was settling for us. It was kind of, you know, a platform for us to build on. Perhaps could have been 5 if we'd converted the other one of the 2 penalties that we got. But yeah, you know, you never want to say it's a nice run of fixtures to come back into, but it is, you know, Elgin today, Motherwell away on Wednesday, who've just been knocked out of the cup by Ross County, and then St Mirren away next Sunday is a decent run of fixtures to come back off that winter break, because it is a tough part of the season. You're playing virtually Saturday, Wednesday for a couple of weeks, so a good way to start it off here.
We've probably talked about this time last year, but it almost defeats the purpose of the winter break fixtures when you come back from it.
Well, I mean, you look at you know, Central Park last night. I mean, even though Cowdenbeath have been playing throughout Rangers now got a month without having a game, and obviously my sympathy for Rangers and anything is limited, but you kind of understand it. They now have another Tuesday night where they're already playing Saturday, Wednesday anyway, or Sunday, Wednesday more likely with being Rangers. But it does make it tough for clubs, and I mean that will not be the only postponement this month. You kind of have to ask how, is the winter break really worth it if this is what's happening? But I think that's a much bigger debate, and not one that's going to be settled here, to be honest.
Yeah, so I put the spotlight back on the game today. I think we worked out there was 2 changes from the Hearts game.
Yeah. Shaw dropping at the bench and another change.
Our dearly departed friend.
That's just...
I don't think he's coming back. I hope he does, but I don't think Effie's coming back.
So there's a chance.
Well, he's not signed for anyone else yet. Yeah. Maybe it's just like a really good ploy to avoid some unappealing winter fixtures. Come the 31st of January, just go, do you know what, lads?
Maybe.
Had a good holiday. We can only hope.
That's maybe where he is.
So we've changed shape. I think probably not a surprise. We tried 4-2-3-1 today. Again, you can't really judge maybe based on the opponent, no disrespect to Elgin, but it looked good, it looked fairly solid, and if we're maybe a bit shy up front, then it's nice to have Horgan, Slivka and Gold hopefully all chipping in with goals to help out.
Yeah, and with the greatest of respect to Elgin and the greatest of respect to the Scottish Cup, it felt a little bit like a pre-season game today, particularly sort of coming off 2 weeks of the transfer window where we brought in Brian Gold, Tommy Blocks on the bench. Whether he'll play a huge part in the first team at this stage, it's unlikely, but I don't know. So there was a chance to sort of try something out. I thought Brian Gold, I was really surprised by how physical he was getting at times. He was sort of like a terrier at times, kind of rushing into tackles and not afraid to take a little bit of a kick, which I think he's going to become very used to in his time here. So it's a nice one to sort of try that formation out. Like I say, it's difficult to get a gauge on how successful it was given the opponents today. I'm sure we'll get a much better measure of that on Wednesday against Motherwell, but full marks to today. Did what I needed to do. I thought we looked, every time we went forward, we looked threatening. Elgin were plucky defensively. There's a lot of throwing their bodies in the way of shots. There's a lot of block shots, which I'm guessing most of the 33 shots were those that were blocked. But yeah, I mean, it's positive. I think there's still to be worked. Still work to be done. But not a bad start. Yeah, so
we'll not run through all 33 shots, but some of the ones before the opening goal, I think in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, Darragh Horgan has a shot that's deflected. It's the save of the match from McHale in the Elgin goal. Fantastic save.
Terrific save, yeah.
Elgin have a couple of half chances throughout the game. One was from a header that went kind of safely over the bar from a corner. Mallon has a little side-footed effort that just kind of crept wide. I think it came off a Hibs player for the final touch, and then the goal comes. It's exactly what we've been missing. It's exactly what we're hoping for from Ryan Gold. Perfectly threaded through ball. Canberry, great first touch, and it's a good finish from a tight angle.
Yeah, incisive through ball from Ryan Gold. Lovely ball in, and you're right. A much more confident finish from Flo Canberry. He obviously sees Hale coming out. He's just got enough about him to take it round him and kind of squeeze it in. I think he's got a couple of Elgin defenders going back there as well. But it's a very neat finish, and kind of finish we know Flo's capable of. It's maybe hasn't quite shown it over the past month or so.
Yep, and then I think it's 4 minutes later we get the second goal. Ball in from, I think it's Slivka that puts the ball in. Horgan gets ahead of McHale. There was some interesting sound effects from the home crowd today. The first of which was Darragh Horgan very bravely gets his head to it, gets it ahead of the goalkeeper. The ball just kind of trickles in, and I think everyone just sort of went, oh.
Yeah.
As opposed to any form of celebration, it was just, that went in.
Yeah, I think there was almost a moment of, I wonder if there was a moment where we thought Darragh Horgan might have been knocked out. Because he was sort of lying almost like prostrate on the ground, but no, he's back up quite quickly. But yeah, it always sort of, I don't know if there's maybe people wondering if the flag was going to go up, but there's I don't even think there was an announcement to say that there'd been a goal. No. We did go 2-0 up, and very brave header by Darragh Horgan, especially with the goalkeeper coming rushing at him like that. And I can't imagine Daryl Horgan scored too many headers in his career.
There won't be many, no. And I thought he got man of the match today, probably deservedly so, but it kind of summed up, I thought, the professionalism of the performance, maybe, that against Elgin, again, no disrespect, he's going for these headers, and he was also some good tracking back in the first half, and the players were fighting for that today. The effort was there to be seen without having to really ramp it up through the gears.
Yeah, and Daryl Horgan's always a player that works hard. I think that's kind of one of his most impressive qualities, is, you know, he keeps going right for the 90 minutes, and I thought today it was a professional performance. There was nobody who was kind of just turning up to kind of go through the motions. You know, it was obviously it's not the standard opposition we play every week, but it's a game still there to be won. You know, you can only beat what's in front of you, and I don't think there was any sort of quarter given from us today. You know, I think everybody did their jobs well, and there's certainly nobody who was slacking.
Yep, so again, it could only been a couple of minutes after that. We're given a penalty. I missed the build up, I missed the foul, so in that case I'll say it was a stonewall penalty.
Stephen Whittaker gets wiped out right in the right hand corner of the box. I think
there's no dispute over either decision.
No, I don't think there was, to be honest.
So Canberra steps up. It's the kind of, again, we've talked about the enigma that is Flo Canberra. Great first touch, great finish at a tight angle. To be fair, it was a million times better than his penalty against Livy. Gets plenty of power behind it, and credit the goalkeeper, it is a good save.
Good save, Thomas McHale. I was actually just reading up the stairs there. He signed from Elgin from Truro City, which must be the longest move in British football. Like, that's absolutely mad.
That's
must be the entire length of the country. It's an England C international as well. And a very good save. He almost looks like a sort of a younger Adam Bogdan, if you can put that in your mind. But yeah, great save down to his right, I believe. Yep. Right in the corner, and very good stop from him. But yeah, you're right, it's kind of odd with Canberra. You know, you get that really neat finish, you get his overhead kick attempt, which,
we'll ignore that.
Yeah.
What was worse, his or Horgan's overhead kick?
Well, Horgan made contact with the ball, at least. Canberra didn't. Or did it? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
At least Horgan got something on the ball. Admittedly, it wasn't that much better. And then, you know, he steps up and misses the penalty, but yeah, it's strikers live on their goals. It is an odd sort of turn of events, given that his penalties last season were spectacular. You know, the one against Hearts is brilliant. The one against Rangers, he nearly takes the goals away with it. So whether it's just going to require an extra 5-10 minutes at the end of every training session, or it's just a confidence thing, I'm sure he'll be back to his best soon. But I think it was quite obvious he had the penalty duties taken off him.
Yes. Now we can hear the thoughts of Gary Parker speaking with Keith after the game.
Gary, a professional performance from a team which sees them safely through into the next round of the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, that was the most important thing to get through the tie. Managed to score 4 goals, could have been more, and we've kept a clean sheet.
Majority possession from the team, and how do you feel Ryan Gold performed on his debut?
Well, he's a clever player. He can see a pass. You know, he likes to get on the ball and he creates, and that's what we've been missing. So that's a bonus, and that was a good game for him to come into.
2 goals as well from Daryl Horgan.
Yeah, 2 good goals. You know, he helped jump the keeper, the big man, to score with his head. But yeah, no, good performance from Daryl. As from everybody, it's 4-0. We wish it was more, but we'll take that.
You can only do what you can do against opposition that you're up against, and that's good to come back to winning ways, a clean sheet after the winter break as well.
Yeah, we had a good winter break, good training session, but to come back to the game, the cup game, and it was a good game for everybody to play in. You know, we got a big game coming up Wednesday against Motherwell. That'll be a tough game, but that was a nice one to get 90 minutes out of the way.
And you're able to rest some of the players a bit later on in the game and give Fraser Murray an opportunity to get some minutes.
Yeah, well, he's been injured for such a long time. You know, it's just nice to get him back on the field, and I think he enjoyed himself. And it's good to give him a game, yeah.
And the final substitution of the game as well, Offer Marciano coming on to replace Adam Bogdan. Is that just
precautionary? Yeah, he took a knock, so they took him off and just put Offer on. So yeah, that's all that was.
The most important thing is you're into the next round of the Scottish Cup, and that'll give you impetus to go forward into the league business in Motherwell.
Yes, as I said to you, it's a tough game on Wednesday, one that we're looking forward to, and we got to start picking points up because we want to climb up the table. But again, yeah, to get into the next round, that was our main aim, and we want to have a good cup run.
In the build up to that second penalty and the third goal, there was just a raft of shots and chances. Malin had one from long range that just went wide, but it was good to see Hibs looking confident and creating plenty of chances. The keeper had a couple of awkward saves from Canberra and Malin, and then the penalty comes again, no dispute, Stonewall penalty, and I was put in mind of the Fulham, we talked about it at half time, the recent Fulham situation with Mitrovic. Short conversation between Canberra and Malin, no problems whatsoever. Malin goes the opposite way, and yeah, tidy, and that's it, game over.
Yeah, I think no matter who the keeper was in that situation, I don't think they would have any chance of saving it. It was right in the corner, very confident penalty from Stevie Malin. It's slightly frustrating, he's broken his record of never having scored from inside the box. But I don't think penalties count.
Well, can we tweak it? He's never scored from open play inside the box now. Yeah,
I think this is going to keep getting tweaked.
Tweet gets longer,
but yeah, very confident penalty, and he's doing that every time he steps up. I'm quite happy for Stevie Malin to continue.
Yeah, so that's half time. It's 3-0. There's no changes. The opening minute, I think, of the first half, Elgin, I don't have a team sheet, sorry, so I don't have his name. The Elgin number 7 has a huge chance for them to get a goal and give the fans something to cheer about. Pulls it wide. Ryan Golding has a brilliant 35-yard effort. I don't think anyone's seen that coming, and goes just over. And then the fourth goal comes. Excellent play for Whittaker down the right hand side. Excellent cross, and Horgan's there again to tap in and get his second.
Yeah, it was a lung bursting run from Stephen Whittaker down the right hand side, and a really nice ball in. I think it's Cambe's at the front post and just doesn't quite get a touch on it. Daryl Horgan following in is a yard out and can't really miss. Lovely little finish and brace for Daryl Horgan. It's always positive to see, players out with the strikers chipping in with goals. And I think he was absolutely desperate to get his hat-trick. There's a lot of bursting runs into the box after that where it just wasn't quite falling for him. But I think it was game over at that point, and it was a bit more sort of how many rather than what the final result would be.
Kind of wound down after that. The highlight of the match for me comes after the fourth goal, and it's when Marvin Bartley gets the ball about 25-30 yards out. The crowd shouts shoot. Marvin Bartley starts laughing and shakes his head as he passes the ball on, and the crowd boo. And then about 30 seconds later, now I don't know if Marvin Bartley listens to this podcast, he probably does.
Well, you're saying this,
there's nothing better.
Daniel saying this, not
Marvin Bartley loves nothing more than just sitting down with a glass of red, listening to the Final Whistle podcast. There was a moment about 30 seconds later where he was in position about 30 yards out, and I'm convinced they hid behind number 10 so they wouldn't pick it up again. The day is coming.
I mean, it is going to be the end of days when Marvin Bartley scores, but that's the opportunity. I thought we were going to get another penalty in that game, and you've got to let Marv take it. But it's comic sort of laughing and shaking his head like, no, I don't shoot. And then passing the ball wide, but it is coming. He's going to score eventually, and there will be a pitch invasion. Yeah,
he's probably just saving it for the final this year.
Obviously.
So I think after that, there's a couple of subs made. Good to see Fraser Murray make his first appearance of this season, I would be down to saying. Him and Shaw come on for Canberra and Gold. Good debut from Gold. Looking forward to see more of him. Ollie Shaw should score with his first touch. It's Daryl Horgan's through. The angle's perfect for him. Very selfless, very good teammate. Squares it to Shaw, and credit to McHale. It's another really good save.
Yeah, Ollie Shaw's first touch down his first 3 touches. He just seemed to get the ball kind of caught between his feet, and McHale's very quick off his line and makes a good save in the end. But I think Ollie was disappointed not to put that one away. And Daryl Horgan even more disappointed that he didn't go for goal himself.
Why did I pass? Yeah. So not much else happened really between there and the final whistle. One last excellent sound effect. It was when Stevie Malin hits a shot. I don't know if it comes off the thigh of the Elgin player,
his back,
but there's a collective from the crowd, and a really good day for sound effects at Easter Road, if anything.
It was. I was just like, despite I wasn't recording, I could have sold it to sort of like some stock music library. But yeah, it was. I mean, even the whole crowd is going sort of. It's bad. It's bad. It's that kind of the cold mitre on a freezing morning.
Studmaster of skiffing the ear kind of thing. Bad memories. So we kind of, I think we're about 50 minutes left. You're thinking, right, no bookings, no injuries. Lo and behold, Adam Bogdan goes off injured, so fingers crossed that's not too bad, but perfectly good deputy in Ofia Marciano. And then one final effort, kind of came out of nowhere. Short corner, Fraser Murray with his right foot, plenty of welly behind it and into the side netting, and hopefully that's a sign of a confident, fit and ready to go Fraser Murray.
Yeah, I was watching Fraser Murray practising free kicks just at the end of the warm up, and he put 2 right in the top corner, so when that got laid back to him I thought, oh, here we go. And he's very, very unfortunate not to see that one nestle right in the top bag, but I'm great to see Fraser back, because I think he is obviously very talented player, and we've seen what we've got at Ryan Porteous as an academy graduate stepping into the first team this season, and I honestly believe Fraser Murray can have the same effect. It's just about sort of getting a run of games now, and
it's almost a really tired cliche, but it's like a new signing, dare I say.
Because I think he has had sort of injury problems earlier in the season as well, and it must be difficult sort of being that age and being kind of on the fringes of the squad and not sort of quite getting in there and then getting injured and sort of again being outside it. But great to see him back today, and hopefully see him a few more times before the end of the campaign.
Yep, so unlike a ScotRail journey, it was a very safe passage with no problems whatsoever for Hibs to get into the next round. Any sort of preference? Are you one of these people that there seems to be a mix of people who go, I want anyone at home. There's people who want Hearts away. I'm always the guy that wants the lowest team left at home, so give me Talbot or someone else of low down. I want the lower leagues.
Anyone but Hearts.
Yeah, I'm sick of Tynecastle. Yeah. John McGinn's not even here to do his tweet anymore, so
yeah, there's no point. I don't know who's left. Talbot or left? I've never beaten Auchinleck Talbot before. That'd be quite fun.
Who else did I not say? Did East Fife not go through? Was that not one that they sounded out?
Maybe.
So who have we got? Talbot are through. East Fife beat Morton. We've got Cally Thistle, Kelly, Dundee United, Ross County, Partick Thistle, Raith Rovers, St Mirren, St Johnstone. We can assume probably that Celtic will be there, and there's a few replays. So it's maybe I can only say this after 2016, but I like the Scottish Cup. It's weird that after the FA Cup seems to be losing something, but the Scottish Cup really still has a bit of a romantic feel about it with football fans.
Yeah, and I think saw it today is the difference in standard between Auchinleck and Ayr earlier on. I don't think was that big, and you can say kind of the pitch was a great leveler because it was a very junior football pitch. For anybody who has played junior football, it was very kind of it was a very junior football pitch is the best way to describe it. And you can bring out sort of the Tau cliches about it being a great leveller and the magic of the cup and anything can happen. But I mean, you see today, Raith Rovers, I think what was it, 3-0 they beat Dunfermline in the Fife derby. You've got East Fife going past Morton, I think they went past. Got Ross County, obviously a very tricky side, going past Motherwell. St Mirren clawing it out at the death against Alloa.
Even that, it's some comeback from St Mirren, but you look at that and go, I'm looking forward to watching the highlights of that. I want to see that. I want to see the highlights of Pittodrie, and
I mean it's a great competition, and obviously with the benefit of hindsight, we can say that for
the draw hasn't been made yet. Once I put this out, it'll be a different story.
It'll be a totally different story, but it's nice that the competition's not lost its lustre for us even after ending our hoodoo in it. I think it's what football is about. It's about winning trophies, about winning silverware. I'd much rather win the Scottish Cup than finish second or third in the league, if that's the option. And I think over the past few years, you look at kind of obviously Celtic have kind of hegemony on trophies over the past few years, but you look before that, the sides we're winning it ourselves, and like Inverness, it kind of proves it can be done, and anybody can go to Hampden and have their day in the sun, and I mean that's really kind of what we're all shooting for at the end of the season.
Now we can hear from Hibs new boy Tommy Block, who spoke with Colin Miller after signing his contract with Hibs.
Tommy, welcome to Hibernian. How pleased were you to finally put pen to paper today?
I was over the moon. I've been dreaming this my whole life. I was at Brighton, obviously got released, and like I've said before, it's an absolute killer. It kills you, it really does. But I'll come on trial twice here. I absolutely love my time at the club. Everyone, including yourselves, looked after me 100% perfectly. They've made me feel welcome. All the boys have been top class. So just got to go and try my best and take advantage of the facilities and progress myself.
Talk us through those 2 trial spells. How did they come about, and what did you do in your time up here?
Well, I played for Bognor in the Conference South last year, and I think we was playing Braintree away, and a scout come down and watched me, and then they got hold of the club, Bognor and stuff, and rang me to get me up, and they got me up. But on the first trial I was ill. I trained Monday, played in the game Tuesday. Apparently I'd done really well, but Wednesday I was really ill, food poisoning, ill for the whole week, couldn't move, literally bedbound. And then they said go up home, so they flew me home, and then luckily enough I was well to play for Bognor on my team by the weekend, so then they flew me back up on the 9th I think of December till the 14th, and I trained with the first team as well, and they said they really liked me. Got the call on the Friday while I was at the airport saying they want to sign me, and I started welling up, started getting emotional, because obviously it's a dream come true, but obviously I've got to work hard, and straight away I got on the phone to my dad, got on the phone to my mum, they were crying, and then obviously it all went well from there, and hopefully start with something new.
As you say, the hard work starts now. Then what have you been told about the challenge ahead, or what you're aiming to do?
Well, I've seen people like Sean Mackey, 20 years old, Lewis Allen, Jamie Gallen. Some of them started against on the TV, whoever it was against on Sky. So hopefully follow their footsteps, and hopefully I know what it takes. Training, doing extras in the gym, making sure I'm best, fitting everyone, better than myself really, and hopefully put my trust in Hibs and then the coaches, and then maybe they'll get me on my way.
The development squad obviously had a successful year last year, and as you've touched on, a number of them have made an impression in the first team. That must give you kind of hope and motivation.
Yeah, and confidence. Because I've heard people, I've got so many messages saying look at this, look at that, giving me photos of first team players Sean Mackey now starting, saying that could be you. So it just gives me more motivation for myself, and for not just for me, for the other boys at the training ground, to work harder and push and hopefully get a starting place. And obviously the gaffer likes playing youngsters.
It was a busy spell for the club in December, but now that everything's done and dusted, you must be very eager to get going.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's taken long, it's taken ages, but hopefully now, like I said a second ago, start with something new, and start and work hard and see where it takes me.
Other things to discuss that we've been away for a couple of weeks. The transfer window so far is ticking along nicely. I think Effie leaving was a bit of a sucker punch to everyone. But
should we have a minute's applause for Effie? A full minute of just applause. It's been. I mean, I think when the rumours started surfacing that we might get Ryan Gold, you could see people were excited about it. So to get that one over the line first is obviously brilliant. We may or may not have somebody in by the time this comes out.
Yeah, I think it's all but announced, so we can probably safely talk about it.
And you can edit this out if it's not.
Yeah, that's true. The lad from Genoa, I can't remember his name.
Stefan Omyonga.
No, so
great name. I think is the most important thing there.
It seems to be that's the midfield. I think sorted between that Gold and Fraser Murray coming back, but we're still maybe looking up front and going, we need more there. There's been a few names linked, obviously nothing concrete, and I still would expect to see at least one, hopefully two strikers in before the window closes.
Yeah, and I suppose it depends what the results of Adam Bogdan's injury are. I know we've had Tom Glover on trial from Tottenham as well, who was kind of around about the squad in Dubai, so it'd be interesting to see if we bring him in on a sort of short-term deal just until Adam's back to full fitness, just to get a little bit more depth in goal. Absolutely right. I think we need at least one more player up front. Personally, I think we could probably do with another defender as well, but obviously with Ryan Porteous back on the bench today, kind of at least helps that problem along. But I mean, I think Neil Lennon, the scouts and the recruitment team, Graham Matthew, have obviously had a list of targets drawn up. I suspect Ryan Gold was pretty high up on that list, and we've got him in. Stefan Omyonga, I can't say I know an awful lot about him. I know he's played a few times in Serie A this season, which is impressive enough.
22, and he's got 5 Belgium under 21 international caps.
He's not played at a level below, I think, the second tier in Italy. So, I played at the Anderlecht Academy as well, which has obviously got a pretty good track record of producing talent. Obviously, it means to be seen. Like I say, I've not seen an awful lot of him play, but it's definitely an interesting signing. It's one that comes with a little bit of intrigue, and with Ryan Gold there as well, I think you're right that it's probably our midfield kind of, if not sorted, then definitely it's the work we've done on it.
And we've got 11 days to try and get Scott Allen sort of.
Yeah,
be interesting to see if he comes in early or not, but I suppose it's a really mouth-watering signing for next season already, and something to kind of get you excited for next season, but we're only in January.
Yeah, it's the one everybody's been wanting since the summer. It's a crowd pleasing signing. I think that's the best way to describe it. We know all the qualities that Scott brings. We know all the winding up it does of certain opponents. We know that he's a quality player. It's about sort of having the players around him to allow him to be a quality player, I think. And obviously we've got a raft of new signings in the midfield, it looks like. If we can get him in early, it's great. If it does take until the end of the season, then fair enough. At least it's part of our plans for next season sewn up. But yeah, it would be fantastic to get him in before the end of January. And like I say, reading in the papers and reading online, that's the kind of the top priority at the moment. Whether we need him at this stage or not, it probably remains to be seen. And I'm sure if he doesn't come in, maybe hindsight is 2020, we'll look back and go, yeah, we really should have got that sewn up. But I suppose we'll have to see what happens over the next 11 days. It's plenty of time to bring in a few players, and I'm sure there's a few targets who are high up the list who are pretty far along.
Yeah, and then looking, final thing, Wednesday we obviously go to Fir Park. We've said that there might be a bit of a wounded animal after losing 2-1 to Ross County. I'm just looking at it, Brian Graham scored both Ross County's goals. Yeah, don't laugh. And so yeah, they'll be hurting, but they'll have kind of almost put in a lot more effort than we did today as well, so hopefully catch them on tired legs, licking their wounds a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is only the second time this season we've played Motherwell. Have we played everybody else twice? I think we must have, because we played Motherwell.
That's bizarre given we played Motherwell on the opening day of the season. Yeah,
it's a bizarre way the fixtures have worked out. And that was an odd game of football as well, because we were 3-0 up and cruising, and then suddenly Motherwell, they hit the post a few times, and so they're obviously a dangerous side, and they're kind of playing sort of in a league of their own at the moment, because they don't really look in any sort of trouble at the bottom, but they're not looking in much danger of challenging for a top 6 place. But we're only, I think, one place ahead of them in the table.
Yeah.
If they beat us, they kind of rope us into that, and you don't want to be sort of playing in a league with one other team, to be honest. So we'll need to be on our toes. They're obviously a good side, and like you say, I'm sure they'll be out looking for a better performance from Saturday. So
it kind of, Motherwell in the St Mirren game's almost is a chance for us to paint the picture of how the rest of our season develops. If you win those two, then we can be looking up the table and just really having no pressure as we push for top 6 and hopefully higher. But dare I say, if we lose one and or both, then it may just be a kind of plodding along exercise for the second half.
Yeah, and it's a very similar situation to last season, where I think 2 of our first games back were Motherwell and Hamilton.
Yes.
So we've just swapped Hamilton for St Mirren. It'll be a great barometer to see how Brian Gold does up against Premiership opposition. We've seen today that St Mirren obviously have a bit of fight about them under Aaron Kearney that perhaps hasn't been there over the past few times we've seen them. So it's going to be a tough 2 games, but winnable games, and games we should be looking to go and win.
So that'll do us for this week's episode. The extended highlights of the Cup game and the full match rerun are available on Hibs TV, along with all the other classics and all that stuff that I always say at this point in the podcast. Notice we've just drawn Raith Rovers at home, so that's a handy tie in the next round of the Cup. But it's back to league action on Wednesday as we travel to Fir Park to face Motherwell. Tickets are on general sale if you fancy going to that one, and I'm sure there'll be live commentary available on Hibs TV for all members also. Until then, my thanks to James Delaney as always for joining me. Massive thanks to you for listening, and join us next time on The Final Whistle.